Every night, when the day finally slows down, thousands of people over 50 find themselves battling an invisible thief. It creeps in quietly, swelling ankles, stiffening toes, and leaving a dull ache in the joints that steals away rest and peace of mind. For some, it feels like walking on hot stones. For others, it's as if their very bones are weighed down with sand. What if I told you that the answer doesn't always lie in another pill, another late-night search for arthritis pain relief, or yet another restless night? What if the answer could be found in something as simple as a warm bowl of water infused with natural, time-tested ingredients that both science and tradition embrace? I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Tonight, I'll show you 3 nighttime foot soaks that soothe swollen joints, ease pain, and bring deep, healing rest. As we age, our feet carry not only our bodies, but also decades of wear, stress, and strain. Swollen joints and aching feet are not just inconveniences. They're signals from the body that inflammation, poor circulation, or overworked tissues are crying out for relief. Nighttime often makes these symptoms worse because, after hours of movement, blood and fluid tend to pool around the ankles and toes. This can leave joints stiff, tender, and restless just when the body needs sleep the most. Finding gentle, consistent ways to calm this nightly cycle is essential for lasting comfort and independence. Imagine this. You've had one of those days where every step felt heavier than the last. Perhaps you spent the afternoon running errands, or maybe you were just moving around the house. But by the evening, your ankles are swollen, your joints are throbbing, and your toes feel like they've been squeezed into shoes 2 sizes too small. It's in these moments that your body whispers for relief, and sometimes the simplest rituals are the ones that answer best. A warm soak with Epsom salt and lavender oil may sound ordinary, but I assure you it is anything but Epsom salt, despite the name, isn't the kind of salt you'd sprinkle on dinner. It's made of magnesium sulfate, a mineral compound that dissolves in warm water and is absorbed through the skin. Think of magnesium as nature's muscle relaxer. When your feet soak in that mineral-rich water, the magnesium goes to work easing tension, calming inflammation, and helping blood flow more freely through tired tissues. Science supports this too. A study published in Magnesium Research showed how magnesium supplementation could improve circulation and muscle recovery. And while foot soaks weren't the specific focus, the principle is the same. Magnesium restores balance where stress and strain have taken over. Now let's add lavender oil into the mix. Lavender is far more than a pleasant fragrance. For centuries, it's been used to calm the mind and body. In modern research, lavender has been shown to reduce levels of cortisol, our primary stress hormone. Imagine cortisol like the body's internal alarm system. When it runs high, inflammation runs high. When cortisol lowers, inflammation begins to settle. So as you soak your feet in lavender-scented water, your body isn't just relaxing physically. Your nervous system is shifting into a state of rest and repair. Let me tell you about one of my patients, Margaret. She's 72 and has battled arthritis in her ankles for over a decade. Every evening, she would sit down with swollen, aching feet that made walking across the living room a chore. I suggested this simple Epsom salt and lavender soak. At first, she was skeptical. "Doctor, can something so simple really help?" she asked. But after 2 weeks of soaking, 3 nights a week, she came back smiling. "My feet feel lighter," she said, "and I sleep through the night without that constant throbbing." For her, the soak became more than relief. It became a ritual of self-care, a way of telling her body it deserved kindness. Preparing this soak at home is easy. You'll need a small basin or foot tub, warm water just enough to cover your ankles, half a cup of Epsom salt, and 5 to 10 drops of lavender essential oil. Stir until the salt dissolves. Breathe deeply as the lavender rises, and then lower your feet in. Sit back. Close your eyes. Let your body unclench. 15 to 20 minutes is all it takes, though many people linger a little longer, not out of necessity, but because the comfort is so welcome. What's happening during those minutes is remarkable. The warm water opens blood vessels, carrying oxygen and nutrients to the joints. The magnesium begins its quiet work of easing muscle fibers and draining away excess fluid. The lavender coaxes your nervous system into letting go, reminding your mind that it's safe to rest. By the end, your feet often feel lighter, sometimes even tingling in a pleasant way, as though they've been given permission to breathe again. There's one more layer of benefit. After drying your feet, apply a moisturizing lotion or magnesium cream. This seals in hydration and continues the soothing effect. Slip on a pair of soft socks, and you've created a mini spa ritual right at home. Over time, consistency transforms this from a remedy into a lifestyle habit. Much like brushing your teeth or making your bed, it becomes a signal to the body. The day is over. It's time to heal. The beauty of this practice is that it doesn't just target swollen joints. It nourishes your sense of peace. In a world where so much of healthcare feels rushed, clinical, or overwhelming, this small act offers dignity, autonomy, and a chance to reclaim control over your comfort. It's not only about reducing pain, it's about enhancing the way you live your evenings, one soak at a time. So the next time your feet feel like they've carried too heavy a burden, remember Margaret's story and the centuries of wisdom behind Epsom salt and lavender. It may not be a miracle cure, but for many it feels like a miracle moment. 15 minutes where pain softens, the mind quiets, and the body finally says, "Thank you." Now let's turn to something that might already be sitting in your kitchen cupboard, a golden liquid that people have sworn by for centuries: apple cider vinegar. At first glance, it may seem unusual to soak your feet in something you normally drizzle on salads, but when combined with warm water, apple cider vinegar becomes one of the most underrated remedies for swollen joints and aching feet. Why does it work? Apple cider vinegar, often shortened to ACV, contains natural acids, acetic acid and malic acid, that have remarkable anti-inflammatory properties. Imagine inflammation as a small campfire inside your joints, sending smoke signals of pain. These acids act like a gentle mist of rain, cooling that fire and bringing the flames back under control. They also help break down excess uric acid, the same substance that contributes to gout flare-ups. For those who find their toes or ankles swollen at the end of the day, this process can make the difference between a restless night and a peaceful sleep. There's also the circulation effect. When you soak your feet in warm water infused with ACV, the heat dilates your blood vessels while the vinegar compounds encourage healthier flow. It's like unclogging a traffic jam on a busy highway. Nutrients, oxygen, and healing cells move more freely to where they're needed, while waste products are carried away more efficiently. This helps to reduce that heavy, bloated feeling in the feet that so many experience. Let me share the story of James, a 65-year-old retired teacher. James had been dealing with chronic swelling around his ankles for years, a problem that seemed to worsen after long walks or even just standing in the kitchen preparing meals. Medication helped somewhat, but he hated feeling dependent on pills. When I suggested trying an apple cider vinegar foot soak, he chuckled. "Doctor, are you telling me to pickle my feet?" But he agreed to give it a chance. After 3 weeks of doing the soak every other evening, James noticed something he hadn't felt in years. His ankles looked less puffy, and he could slip into his shoes without that tight, uncomfortable squeeze. His wife even commented that he seemed to move more easily in the mornings. Preparing this soak is simple. Fill a basin with comfortably warm water, not scalding hot, because too much heat can aggravate swelling instead of easing it. Pour in 1 cup of raw, unfiltered apple cider vinegar, the kind that still contains the mother, that cloudy substance full of beneficial enzymes and probiotics. Lower your feet into the mixture and let them rest for 20 minutes. If you'd like to take it a step further, add a few slices of fresh ginger. Ginger amplifies the anti-inflammatory benefits and adds a soothing warmth, like wrapping your feet in a gentle heating pad. During the soak, something quiet but profound happens. The skin begins to absorb the natural acids, while the warmth encourages relaxation. If ginger is added, a gentle tingle spreads through the feet, as though circulation is awakening areas that had felt stagnant all day. You may notice not only reduced swelling, but also softer skin, because ACV has natural exfoliating properties. Many people like to use a soft washcloth afterward to gently buff away dry skin, leaving their feet smoother and more refreshed. After you've dried your feet, massaging in a light oil, coconut or olive oil works beautifully, adds another layer of nourishment. Slip on a pair of cotton socks and you've extended the soak's benefits overnight. Done 2 or 3 times per week, this ritual doesn't just soothe pain, it transforms the relationship you have with your body. Instead of ignoring discomfort or numbing it with pills, you're responding with care. That act alone changes the story from frustration to empowerment. There's even historical weight behind this remedy. Ancient civilizations, from the Babylonians to the Greeks, valued vinegar for its healing properties. Hippocrates, the father of medicine, recommended vinegar as a treatment for wounds and inflammation. Modern research continues to support its role in reducing swelling and supporting circulation. While it's not a replacement for prescribed treatment when needed, it's a powerful companion, natural, affordable, and accessible. What I love most about this soak is the message it sends. Every time you prepare the basin, pour in that cup of vinegar, and sit quietly as the water does its work, you're telling yourself something important. I'm worth the time. I deserve comfort. That message carries into the rest of your life, strengthening not just your joints, but also your confidence in managing your own health. And that, perhaps, is the greatest relief of all. There is something powerful about roots. They anchor plants deep into the earth, drawing up nourishment and strength. And some roots, when brought into our own lives, have the power to anchor us back into comfort and healing. Two of the most celebrated roots in natural medicine are ginger and turmeric. You've seen them in recipes, teas, and even supplements, but few people realize how soothing they can be when used externally, especially in a nighttime foot soak. For swollen joints and aching feet, ginger and turmeric create a golden bath of warmth, circulation, and anti-inflammatory relief. Let's start with turmeric. Its brilliant golden color comes from curcumin, a compound that acts like a peacekeeper inside the body. Inflammation, in simple terms, is like a neighborhood feud, immune cells shouting, tissues swelling, nerves firing. Curcumin steps in like a wise elder, quieting the arguments and restoring calm. Researchers have studied curcumin for years, with countless studies highlighting its role in reducing inflammation. One published in the Journal of Medicinal Food showed significant improvements in joint pain relief among people who supplemented with curcumin. When used in a soak, the warmth of the water helps draw curcumin's benefits into the skin, targeting swelling directly where it hurts most. Now ginger. Where turmeric calms, ginger energizes. Its spicy compounds, called gingerols, act almost like natural aspirin, easing pain and stimulating circulation. Imagine your blood vessels as narrow streams, sluggish and clogged after a long day. Ginger gently widens those streams, helping the current flow again, delivering fresh oxygen and nutrients to joints that have been stiff and starved. At the same time, ginger generates a deep, comforting warmth, almost like slipping your feet into a sunbeam. This warmth is especially helpful for those with arthritis who often feel that their joints are colder or stiffer in the evenings. I remember a patient named Lillian, a vibrant woman in her late 60s who loved gardening. Her evenings, however, were often ruined by the swelling in her feet after hours spent tending to her flowers. Painkillers upset her stomach, and she was desperate for a gentler option. When I suggested a ginger and turmeric foot soak, she raised an eyebrow but decided to try. Weeks later, she came to me with a smile and said, "Doctor, I think my roses are happier because I can stay on my feet longer." The soak didn't erase her arthritis, but it gave her back enough comfort to keep doing what she loved. That, in my eyes, is real healing. Making this soak feels like preparing a healing tea for your feet. Start by boiling 4 cups of water, add a tablespoon of freshly grated ginger and a teaspoon of ground turmeric, or better yet, fresh turmeric root if you can find it. Let the mixture simmer for about 10 minutes, allowing the roots to release their healing compounds into the water. Strain it carefully into a basin, then dilute with warm water until it feels soothing and safe for your skin. Lower your feet into this golden bath and breathe deeply as the spicy, earthy aroma fills the air. As you soak, you may feel a tingling sensation, a sign that circulation is awakening. The swelling begins to soften, the joints start to loosen, and the warmth spreads like a quiet invitation to rest. If you'd like to add another layer of care, gently massage your ankles and the tops of your feet while soaking. This simple act of touch helps move lymph fluid, eases stiffness, and brings even more relief. I often recommend using a small amount of coconut or sesame oil during this massage, which nourishes the skin and adds to the relaxation. Yes, turmeric may leave a faint yellow tint on your feet, but don't let that deter you. It fades quickly, and a little lemon juice on a washcloth will remove it easily. For many, that golden stain becomes a badge of honor, a reminder of a nightly ritual that connects them to centuries of healing wisdom stretching back through Ayurveda and traditional Chinese medicine. The benefits of this soak go beyond the physical. While your feet rest in that fragrant golden water, your mind begins to follow suit. The ritual creates a pause, a boundary between the chaos of the day and the restfulness of night. Pair it with slow breathing or a short meditation, and you'll notice not just less pain, but also deeper sleep. Over time, using this soak 3 nights a week or on especially challenging days builds resilience in your joints and in your spirit. What makes ginger and turmeric so powerful is not just their chemistry, but their symbolism. They remind us that healing doesn't always require expensive treatments or complicated routines. Sometimes it comes from humble roots pulled from the earth, transformed into a warm bath that cradles our tired feet. For many, this simple practice becomes a lifeline, an anchor in the storm of daily aches, a golden reminder that relief and even joy can still be found in the simplest of places. So tonight, as you prepare for rest, remember that relief is within reach. A basin of warm water, a handful of salt, a splash of vinegar, or a simmered root can become more than just a remedy. It can be a ritual of renewal. Epsom salt and lavender calm the body and mind. Apple cider vinegar restores circulation and eases swelling. And ginger with turmeric brings the golden warmth of ancient healing. These soaks are not just about pain relief. They are about reclaiming comfort, dignity, and joy. I'm Dr. Brian. Thank you for joining me. And until next time, take gentle care.